Okay, welcome back everybody. It's me from the future. I just wanted to talk about Ethereum today and give you guys my thoughts on the Shapella Hard Fork and where the price could go, the lowest point the price could go in this bear market cycle. Okay, let's take a look. I have a quick little news snippet and then we'll go into the charts. We'll make it a quick video. So withdrawals are coming, okay, for Ethereum. On March 14th at 10 p.m. UTC, this is very important, Ethereum developers plan to implement the Shapella Hard Fork. Shapella, Ethereum's latest hard fork, includes two major upgrades, one being Shanghai, an execution layer upgrade, and also Capella, a consensus layer upgrade. Together, the two will allow stakers to withdraw both accrued staking rewards and their initial 32 ETH that they did back for the initial node collateral, okay? So why we're bringing this up, March 14th, there's gonna be possibly a lot of folks getting a little antsy about the economy, and now they'll be able to get their ETH back, right? So it could become something that waterfalls and turns into something bigger, really hurting the price of Ethereum. Unfortunately. I mean, this is a theory, right? So post-merge, Ethereum is secured by stakers instead of miners. And each of the miners are posting 32 ETH as collateral for the ability to store network data, to process transactions, and to add blocks to the chain. So stakers accrue ETH rewards for securing the network, kind of like little security guards, right? But that's what this proof of stake situation is all about. So the merge was implemented in mid-September 2022, resulting in Ethereum completing its transition from, like we were saying, proof of work to now proof of stake. And this cuts energy consumption by 99.95% and ETH issuance by 88%. So a lot of cuts, a lot more efficient, right? Is it more safe? Not sure yet. Maybe the jury's still out on that one. Proof of work was more like what Bitcoin and Litecoin do. Proof of stake is more something like Cardano, right? So now ETH is more similar to Cardano in this way. Okay, so again, I bring all this up. You need to keep a mental note about this Shapella Hard Fork. Okay, very important. Okay, with that said, let's take a look at the charts. We'll move on. So what we have here is the Ethereum 1 week chart. Okay, the beautiful Ethereum 1 week chart. And the snapshot you see is the 2017 bull run and the most current bull run in 21-22. Okay. We'll take a quick look at the simple moving averages. The 50 week is the yellow simple moving average trend line that you see. Let's zoom in on it very quickly. And you'll notice that we did get rejected, as we talked about in previous videos. We got big time rejected, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks now we've been in full rejection mode. And we kind of got a little bit of support at the 200 week, the blue simple moving average trend line that you see here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to zoom out. So there are the simple moving averages. You'll notice too that 200 week just continues to gradually go up, like diagonally, and just keeps going and keeps going. And the price is now dancing around that 200 week simple moving average. But doesn't mean we can't go lower temporarily for a short amount of time. That's typically part of a bear market. You have to find that plunge down in order to really gather the steam to push into the bull market. You don't just find a bull market by accident, right? Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to get rid of the simple moving averages. They are very helpful, but for what we're looking at, I'm finding that the trend lines are much more important. Now, we looked at news at the top of this video, right? We talked about the news, but the charts always, for me, come before the news, okay? Remember that. Chart uber alles. Okay, charts tell you what's going to happen long before the news. Okay, the news is like a lagging indicator. So let's put on the trend lines. I prepared a few trend lines for you. Yes, they're a little loud, but what we have here, the purple trend line on the bottom, that's my black swan trend line that found the bottoms of bear markets in the past, and the bottoms of black swans, as a matter of fact, like the March 2020 COVID downturn. Let's zoom in on it really quick. It found its way down there. You know, the end of the bear market, the end of the last few different launches when the price launched into the 2017 bull run, launched off of this trend line. So super important trend line. However, I am calling it more of a black swan last resort support, the floor, so to speak. We don't have to go down there. Where we will go down to, I believe, before the end of this bear market is this blue trend line, okay? There's plenty of touch points that support it, as you can see here. But this is my first floor, okay? I feel like we probably will hang out on this one and maybe go into the bull market from this low. This is our upper trend line that has a couple of touch points here. And this just represents where the price could go if we had another relief rally. Maybe we'll have a relief rally later this year, only to get rejected again by this trend line because it's obviously pretty steep. So we'll go into doing some models on that. What I've noticed here, to be quick, is that the price is in a flag triangle at the moment from the low back in June, and we came back up, ping-ponged it here, came back down, hit the low again, ping-ponged up again at the upper. So we're in this ping-pong. Typically when this happens, we get squeezed and we blast out up or we blast down. So that's the result of these in all charts. So let's take a look at that. I will do some quick modeling and we'll kind of see where the price could go. So here's option A. What I think is going to happen is we're going to find our way down to this lower trend line. We're already in that route, right? We're going to bounce up. We're going to hit this upper trend line again at some point, and then we're going to get squeezed in here somewhere. Okay. For option A, I believe we're going to find our way down to my lower trend line. So again, will it be like more of a straight crash and a wick where we move up and find ourselves like here or something for a long time? Perhaps. Or will we find that floor and we'll just kind of work our way up into the bull run? I feel that this plunge, when we touch this, will probably be the end of the bear market. It'll be the low, I should say, because the previous low was around 870, 888, whatever it was. The previous. The new low will be on this blue trend line, okay? Now, if it takes a year to get there, that 888 may be the low, maybe the lowest low, because as you see, this is an ascending trend line, okay? So I'll get rid of that. Let's do this here, okay? So that is option A, that we come down, find our way. My point with our talk here is that this is our low. We're talking about where the low could be, and that's this trend line. So option B is doing something similar to what I said. We would come down, ping pong in here, get squeezed, and blast up. Find our way up to this upper trend line, and then only to find ourselves come back down again and consolidate somewhere, okay? So that upper trend line, if I didn't mention, let's take a look. That upper trend line is, if we came up, it's more like 2,300, 2,400, 2,200, all in that zone, right? So that is very probable if we go up. More probable to me is the plunge down, okay? So where we find ourselves continuing this shape here. We're obviously still in a downtrend. So my point is we will find ourselves at the bottom of my support. Now, if there's some crazy news, we go to war, whatever the really negative news is, we could again find ourselves down at our bottom point here. So let's put some points really quick down there. Okay. So there you go, right? So that's our options. 788 area to 888 is our floor. Our upper area is the 20 like 2,000 to 2,400, depending on where we hit the trend line. But the story, the long-term story, is where we have this purple, this green star. This, my friends, is exactly 4 years away from the peak. 4 years away from the peak. Okay, when is that? October 2025. So, if I measured from the 2017 peak, let's do this the right way, 2017 peak all the way to the final peak was roughly 1,400 days. I think that adds up to about 4 years. Interesting. Okay, and you might find the same thing with the previous peak, about 4 years previous. So that's why we call this a 4-year cycle. So let's extrapolate out for 4 years into the future, where I previously put this star, about 1,400 days. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so last note on that, we want to look here. I draw one more trend line just to drive you guys crazy, huh? Let's see. We can do something like this. We can do something like this. Let's see. I'm going to model this out very quickly. Okay, so we ping pong in here. We find ourselves down at our low. We just kind of flatline for a little while like previous bear markets into May 2024, maybe a couple big spikes in here, who knows what happens. But all the while we're finding ourselves on this trend line, this lower trend line. So we're slowly going up, right? So my point is the bear market ends when we finally capitulate and touch this trend line, right? So what happens next is we slowly, gradually move up like previous bear markets, and then ourselves breaking through that purple, the blue trend lines. We do something like this. We completely blast up like we always do, right? Hitting insane numbers, coming back down, finding a secondary top, and then continuing on, and then something like this, right? There you go. Okay, so that looks a little better. Where would that top be? Something like this is really where it would be, right? Good God. $7,468, roughly, you know, because it goes in line with our previous trajectory, okay? All right? 4 years, 4 years, okay? Super sloppy, but I just wanted to give you the ins and outs. Where is the low going to be? Again, my feeling is it's going to be between 788 and 888, 888, right? $788 to 888 zone bottom. Top, which is really going to be towards in 2025 somewhere, you know, as an estimation, it'll be in 2025. That's 4 years later from our previous tops. And that's going to be up there at $7,400 plus, right? Okay. Okay, lots of information. Let's turn all this mess off. Thank you so much for your time, and like and subscribe to my video. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day, a great weekend, and tune in next time. Thank you.